Well, hello everybody. In this Let's Play guide, I'm going to be showing you how to build a fortified drug lab, basically, on the planet Jemison in the Alpha Centauri system. Now, I already have a guide on how to set all of this up, but in this video, I'm going to show you specifically my outpost and how I built all of this. Now, I have a lot of advanced buildings here. I have the tier 3 greenhouse, I have a tier 3 argon extractor, but the main thing about this is that there's only one way in, which allows me to concentrate all of my defenses right here. I'm also going to be building out these mechs, the security robot mechs. I can have 3 of these bad boys right now. I didn't place them down because you have to remove the security robots in order to remove an outpost, so I didn't want to put them down and have to track all that down. But essentially, I have this as the only entryway in, and I have my main areas concentrated right here. You can move. By the way, if you don't know this, you can move your spawn location, which is, it doesn't change the circle or anything. You can just move it wherever you want. So I moved it right here so that I can run straight into my base when I land. And I also put a pharmaceutical lab so that I can produce amp. But essentially, I have everything I need to produce amp in here. In the back, I hid 2 fusion reactors. And these things are badass. They don't require any input. They just run indefinitely off of the fusion. And then I have a couple solar domes back here. But essentially, this defensive design is from Vosky Cow. It has a whole guide on how he did this. I actually think I have a method which is a little bit easier, though. After building this, I found a way to make it just much faster. So I'll show you how I do that. We're going to get into everything. But essentially, yes, we've set up just the basic stuff for a drug lab. We have a little bit of a base, we have a defensive perimeter inward, and I built the big ship lander pad because it looks cool, and also because the small cargo landing pad, if anything is around it and it clips weird, you can't land, so I just said screw it, I'll build the big one. But essentially, we're going to destroy this outpost, and I'm going to rebuild it from scratch. I'm going to try not to move around as much as possible because I have 37,000 pounds on me right now. Once I destroy this base, I'm going to have about 50. So I'm going to try not to move as much as possible. I'm going to try to do all of this from above. Alright. So we've destroyed everything. And it should have refunded everything to me. A lot of it is in my inventory now. Just a lot of resources. Alright, let's get this show on the road. So the first thing you're going to need to do when you're building out your bases like this is find a flat area. You want to find as flat an area as possible. You will have some ridges, so we're just going to place this down so we can go into view. You will have some ridges, but you can place buildings over them as long as you don't have anything that's more than 2 tiles high. You can see here we have a dead zone, so like we don't like this spot particularly. So what we need to do is identify where the argon's going to be, because realistically that's where the base is going to be centered. So we want to move this guy just a little bit up. And the best way to find flat areas, personally, I think is in just landing over and over again randomly in the northern part of the frozen mountains. I landed, it probably took me about a solid 20 minutes to find this spot. But you'll find something. Just kind of like gauge how I'm doing things. See these hills? They're not very tall, so that's fine. As long as they're not higher than 2 stories, we're going to be fine here. And remember, we can move this outpost beacon once we place it down. So let's put it over here for now. And I do have quite a bit of research, pretty much all the research, and I do have pretty much all of the outpost science skills up. So you need quite a bit to do this, to do the things that I'm doing in this video. But this is what an in-game base can look like. To build these super bases, it's kind of it's completely unnecessary, but it's really fun. So we're gonna change our thinking here. So we got a big old no area down there. And we got a big yes area here. I feel like we need to once again move this. Alright, finally we got a spot that only has a moderate dead end, which isn't going to impact what we're doing. Yeah, we can work with this. This is fine. So we'll have the entryway like somewhere around here. Alright, cool. So we're going to start off by placing the 2 argon extractors at wrong tier. We're going to start off by placing the high tier argon extractors. And we're going to feed this directly into our wall. We're actually going to use our wall gonna be kind of funny. All right, we're gonna use tier 3 greenhouses. What's cool about the tiers of greenhouses is each of them only use 1 water. So there is an advantage to having this. So we technically only need 1 water extractor for this build. However, we're probably gonna just do it something a little different. So the hardest part here is lining everything up nice. Right, and then we want to get our shipbuilder down so that it's coming down in the middle of all this. This is going to be kind of a tight fit. There. Boom. Perfect. Alright, we can see the circle is right there. I feel like we're gonna need to actually boot all this down just a smidge so that we can fit everything correctly. And we can make this work. That's fine. We'll make it a little bit wider. Perfect. There we go. So now we should be able to fit our wall around this area. There's a little bit of a dead zone issue going on there. Cool. So there's plenty of ways to do this. In fact, we're probably going to place our energy behind the greenhouses here. So let's get our energy guys down. So we got 2 reactors, and these are really easy to build. The supercooled magnets and the paramagnon conductors are actually really easy. A lot of this stuff just requires like small amounts of specialized parts. And you have to be kind of careful because the creatures around here get in the way. I usually have to go on a cleansing, if you want to call it that. That's an appropriate way to say murdering animals. They're aggressive. I mean, they are aggressive animals, so. Not like they're innocent. All right, we're gonna do 4 of these bad boys actually, if we can. Let's organize this in a way that fits. And I apologize, some of this stuff isn't like perfect because otherwise this would be like a 15-hour let's play. Because I would just sit here gadgeting or moving everything around. All right, so we can't place it because it's intersecting with terrain that is going higher. You know, and that's fine. We actually only need 3 of them, so we'll leave it there. Maybe we'll put. I don't actually like the giant wind turbines because they got some kind of weird clipping. So we'll place two little wind turbines there. Make it look cool, right? All right. So we've got everything we need there. We're now going to place the water extractor. And we'll connect these to the greenhouse later. I'm building a high tier water extractor. This will produce, I think, something like 3 something water, and we only need 2. So we're just going to attach it to the box, and then once I select what they're going to build, the problem is when you change production of a greenhouse, it unattaches the water supply. A lot of people are having a couple of people are having problems with things not producing, and I had to tell them they had to reattach the water supply. That's usually it. All right, cool. So we got the argon extractors. We got 2 of them because you need 2 argon, you need 1 metabolic agent, and 1 toxin. So we want twice the amount of storage for the gas as structures here. However, you actually need 50% more gas storage than you need regular storage because the gas storage doesn't hold as much. So we're gonna go for 15 boxes each for the greenhouses and a total of 45 in total for the argon because we need 2 argon per amp, and we actually need more storage because it doesn't hold as much as the others if we want to have perfect crafting. So that's really it. We have our energy needs. We have everything. So the next part is this. So what I devised was that to make it easy, I'm going to do 15 this way and 15 the other way for each greenhouse. That way I don't have to figure out how everything's working here. So what you want to do is figure out where the middle of everything's going to be. I'm going to say it's going to be right here. And then you stack, and then you remove the bottom one, and it fills it with just a blank spot. So you basically create a wall piece like that. And here's the fun thing about this, though, is that if you only do it 2 tiles high, you don't, so like if you do it the other way, you have to keep snapping, and you have to build from the bottom up and delete them one at a time. So in my way, you just do this. And what you can do, if say it goes like this, right? It snaps to the top and you have to do this. You don't have to do that. You can actually just tab out of the build mode or whatever, hit tab again in the spot you want to place it, and it will automatically snap. So boom, boom. Do you see how I'm not having to click anything? I can literally just follow it that way. So going one way is really easy, but then you have to corner it, and this is the hard part. And realistically speaking, you probably would want to start from this point over here to figure... Fuck, I'm getting attacked, aren't I? Oh no, he's just going on a killing spree. My robot companion's just murdering all the animals for me. He's really nice. Okay, cool. Right, so we kind of got an idea of how we want to do that. So let's start the process. I just need to make sure it all lines up. And the best way to do this is to not have them go into one another, like, and try to do that, but have them go past one another. So now that we know that this isn't going to work, I can come over here and I can start my my guy here. This is the hardest part because you don't want a gap between everything. So this will take you the longest. This is actually pretty good. And yeah, oh, I can't do it, but that's a really good, that would have been a really good gap. It's just slightly connecting into the corner right there because of the way that this is slanted. Okay. That's a good one. No, that's a bad one. So, and then you get creatures in the way. And you have to go out and exterminate them. This is why I'm trying not to move around too much. But you can see, it creates an impenetrable wall. And we're actually going to use these storages too. They're not just going to be for the defenses, so... Alright. Well, we've eliminated that. And my companion, of course, is going to get right in the way. This is the most aggravating part of all of this. It's just people... like, literally the one place I'm looking at, he's just like, let's walk there. The AI in this game is strong. They're learning our weaknesses and what irritates us, studying us. Okay. Yeah, that gap's too big. Like I said, this is the hardest part right here. And what I usually do is just fiddle around with it for a while. You kind of have to use like visual memory to remember like where you put something and how far off it was, and then you can kind of go, okay, if I put it just a little bit more, there we go. See that? That is a very clean corner. All right. So same process, we just remove the bottom unit, and then I can just tab in and out, and I don't have to mess around with snap points. So you see how fast I can do that? I'm hitting tab on the PC. I don't know what the modify mode. So you go in and out of modify mode, and you don't have to use, like, you don't have to sit there playing around with snap points. Okay, so we want 15. So we got 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. And then the rest of this is going to be gas storage. And so you're going to need a lot of adaptive frames, copper and tungsten for this. These are all really easy to get. This is the easiest part of the base. Everything else requires a lot of materials. But you see how easy this is? Perfect. Like I said, cornering's the hardest part. We got everything going here pretty good, and we're probably not even going to get enough gas storage out of this design. I'm probably, because I need 45 of them, probably going to have to do some stuff. So, like I said, again, this is the most annoying part. Too big of a gap. That's actually a decent gap. It's not perfectly straight, but I'm going to go with it. So over here, you can see that it went from 2 tiles high to 1. That's fine, as long as you don't have big gaps. So we're just gonna leave it 1 high over here. And I also use refrigerators on the gaps just to provide an extra layer there. So over here, we're gonna need this to be 2 stories tall. I will have to, unfortunately, do that. There we go. The foundation is too tall. Okay. All right, so we got some problems here. I haven't dealt with this before. There we go. I don't know what I did. There's an existing object here. Okay, so there's a crack. Oh, it was a little creature. Yeah, so the little creatures will block you. Pretty annoying. Pretty annoying as shit. We're gonna stop there for now, actually, and we're gonna start working on the entryway. So what's really cool is what I've been doing is placing a modified entryway, and I actually need this spot, which means that I need to delete one of these and put another storage. So I have my 15. All right, yeah, because I need this spot. So now we're going to work on the base itself. And this is a little design I made up. I don't know if anyone's done it because I don't really watch a whole lot of videos. I'm sure someone's done it. Nothing is unique anymore or original. So we're going to use the 2-story wide 4-wall hub so that we can create a higher position. It creates a staircase. And we're going to get... This is probably the hard part right here, too. I like how I say everything is the hard part. Yeah. Real good tactic, Cat. This is easy. Okay, here's the hard part. Here's the hard part. Here's the hard. I mean, it is relatively easy. There are difficulties for sure, though. Oh, you see that? Isn't that crisp? Look at that. Look at that. Okay, cool. All right. And then you place it. All right. And so then what I do is I go to the hallway industrial, and you want to snap it to the top. All right. And this creates kind of like a bridge over the entryway, and I use carpet to remove like stones and stuff, so make it look flat. I'll show you how to do that too. That'll be like the finishing touch. All right, and we'll do this 4 tall, and then we'll do it into another thing like that. So like, here we go. That's it. That's how you get your little drawbridge thing. And then, I mean, like in theory, yeah. So, and then we can have that guy there. There we go. All right. So we got 2 little pillars, and we can see underneath, but I don't want to do that. And if I did this, it's really hard to line these up, but sometimes you can. Oh wow, I've never actually been able to line that up. That's a first. These things are a little wonky, so yeah, now I can run between these 2. So I got my base, and then typically what I do is I put the entryway, the airlock, where my robot friend is standing right in the way, trying to irritate me. Put him there, and then I will put this here so that when I spawn right there. And if I don't want to run all the way inside to do anything, I do place... the main thing we're producing here is AMP, Pharmaceutical Lab, over here. There we go. Pharmaceutical Lab, it looks like shit, but it's good. But that's how I do my entryways to this, but you can see what I'm trying to accomplish here is very easy to do. It's just time consuming, but there's only going to be one way into this base, and it's going to be pretty damn cool. Again, this is Vasi Cow. This is he's the one who had the video on this. This is where I would never have, honestly, well, I may have thought of it. I mean, like, I'm sure people would have thought of this eventually, but he definitely he definitely is responsible for a lot of us using it. I mean, he's definitely the first person to think of it, as far as I know. So give credit where credit is due. But I didn't see this method being used where you tabbing it out. In his, he puts them 3 tiles or 4 tiles high, and then you have to remove each row. It's really mine's like 10. This method right here is like substantially faster. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't watch the whole video. I just watched the methodology, and it made sense to me. All right, so we're gonna do 15 for the other greenhouse over here. I'm almost wondering if I should have actually built this out first so that I had them all lined up, but it's a little wonky in dimensions, so it probably wouldn't work. But my OCDs are definitely kicking in right now. So it looks like on the other side I put this more towards the back. So it's basically like this weird in and out game. I'm playing like peekaboo with this stupid thing until I get it. Most likely, okay, let's do something here. Let's go to our control settings and let's mess with our sensitivity. So I have my outpost rotation speed down to 1. That's a huge one for you. Fly. No, that's like movement. Rotation speed. Here we go. So let's put our rotation speed down to 1.1. There we go. Starting pitch 60. Okay, I don't want to mess with that. I just want to change the rotation speed. I think that will help us. Look how much cleaner that is, man. I should have done that a while ago. Okay, so this it's not that much cleaner. Still highly sensitive. Why is it so sensitive? Okay. Yeah, I am gonna have to down that. All right, let's do 1.68 and see if that works. That's actually a little bit cleaner. I can feel it. It's not so slow that it's taking forever. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, so 40 years later, I'll be... Oh, look at that. We did it. Yeah, that's as good as it gets right there. I'm not even gonna argue about it being a little wonky. And the reason you want it to be 2 stories tall is because it will build over top these things, which will sometimes block it. I find that to be like pretty much the perfect height. And these aren't going to be perfect. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. We probably could get away with 5, but we're going to do 6 on this side. Just to make sure it has the room it needs. Okay, and then again, we just need to rotate this so it goes the other direction, and we need to play the clipping game. But this is much, yeah, this is much nicer than it was before. I have it start at the right angle, but it just doesn't look like the right angle. So I gotta trust it to do what I want it to do. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is a clean corner. I see, these are actually the cleanest corners I've ever had. All right. Yeah, it's a clean corner. So like I said, I'm going in and out of view, which allows me to not have to go through all those snap features. And I can do this really quick. Sometimes it actually snaps for me. All right, cool. So we need to make sure we have 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, and then the rest of this is just gonna be gas. But this is a much faster methodology than building 4 tiles tall at a time and deleting the bottom 3. You can just do it like this. Much faster. All right. And we got that clutched right there. Now this will probably not be perfect. And what I typically will do, you see how close that is though? That is so fucking annoying. All right, let's see. Yeah, it won't do it because it's intersecting. The only thing I could feasibly do, I literally just need a little bit of a lip, but you see, I don't have anything. I don't have any give over here. I have to find some give, and it doesn't exist. So, I'm gonna reposition this. And this is what I was talking about, trying to have corners meet corners. super difficult. The best way to do this is to start correctly. I can't do it there. This. Try to corner it like that, and I need to look at it from about this view, yeah. I don't know, the controls in this game are kind of wonky. Probably just need to get better disciplined. I think it's based off of where you're looking when you first place it down, and then if I go like this, it'll be fine. Yeah, that seems to be it. It orientates to where you're first looking. It doesn't change when you... Okay, yeah. So if I want it to snap, I want to look this direction. Then I want to move. And then it will snap in the right direction, and I know it will be straight. That's still a bad corner. People can get through that. Oh yeah, look at that. That's about as good as it's gonna get here. Cool. Let's just hope this all lines up. Looks like this needs to go up one. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Same problem. It's always the corner. Always the corner piece, man. Yeah, I was off just like a little bit somewhere. You see that shit? Just like a little bit. The best item in the game. In the furniture section. Refrigerators. This is how you can patch any home improvement thing you got going on in your life. Just put a refrigerator. Drywall issues, just put a refrigerator in front of it. Yeah, you can see that we lowered the transition speed. Look how slow that is. But that's great. We'll put it back here in a second. There we go. It just works. That's how this is gonna do it. Let's just put a navigation panel back here so they can't like clip through anything. Fill it full of stuff. Okay, cool. we took care of that, right? I love it. I feel like we need a couple more fridges though. Just really need to layer that fridge area. There we go. Okay. All problems solved. We have a beautiful stopgap over there now. Get our transition speed back. All right. So the hard part's over there. Let's get this going. We're not going to use a transfer station in this because this is literally just an amp production facility. And since we don't have 60 connectors, we're not going to have to worry about a lot of things. If you have over 60 connections, your storages can bug out, but we're not going to have that problem. We're using the large storages. So for the argon, I'm just going to link both of them to a start point over here. And we're just going to link all these extractors. But that is the nice thing actually about having just a single layer, is you don't have to, you can do it from the top view very easily. So I basically effectively just use my storage system as a secure wall, and I think that those refrigerators will do the job. I could have just like reset my wall completely, but I said no. All right. So let's set. All right, we're making metabolic agents here. And we need toxins at the other one. All right, toxins. All right, everything's still connected. All right, now we can connect the water supply to the greenhouse because I know everything's set. Boom. All right, and probably, I usually have multiple sets of things, so we'll have a bed right here so that we can sleep and make amp as needed. But everything is set up, everything is generating now. All right, so here is the final touches. So what we're going to do is place rugs to get rid of these trees and anything in the way. And that will clear up a lot of junk. These are beautiful rugs. Finest rugs in the land. And yeah, we got a good thing going here. I don't want them to be able to hide behind rocks. I want this to be kind of clear. All right, cool. So we got a clean path. Now, what I'm going to end up doing is building the finest. We got 6 guns, right? So I like to use these round rugs. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna have 5 guns and then 6 guns. And we're also gonna have these mech bots. I don't think it matters where you place them. I'm just placing them like this for me. Ah, crap. I can only place 2. All right, well, that's fine. I thought I had enough for 3. All right, and then we got 6 of these tier 3 ballistic turrets. I'll move those other guys in a bit here. All right. And I want it like right on the dot. Boom. Right in the center. All right. So now when they come in, they gotta get through all these guns that are pointed right at them. And then what I do is I put the crew stations right here. This is where the crew is gonna sit. I'm gonna arm them, give them the best weapons. So I'm gonna put them right behind the guns, kind of like a barrier. And they can use this as a barrier and shoot from behind it. So they got the guns in front and they're shooting over the barrier. And the way that you assign crew in this game is actually really easy. You just go to your ship, hit crew. I can take all of these people and do what I want with them. So I'm going to Marika. She has she has ballistics and shotguns, so she'd be great for this outpost. I'm sending her to the outpost instead of the ship. Everyone else is pretty decent for the ship. I'm gonna send my adoring fan to the outpost. Cool. So now they'll come here and they'll sit in these desks and we'll all have a good time. But you can see that this creates pretty much an impenetrable area that they cannot get into. And then you can decorate the inside of your base as much as you want. There we go, we got trash. Trash always look good. All right, cool. So now I can fly to my outpost, fast travel somewhere else, and then fast travel back to my outpost so that my ship lands. Yeah, and then you spawn on the spot. So now we got our mech droids, we got our people here. I need to arm and equip them, but usually they'll gravitate towards positioning themselves over here, and all the enemies can only come from this one location. And we got amp production. Let's test all this out. Get some amp going. Now in this situation, if you see my video, I go to Venus, which just, one day there and all this stuff is full. And I'd probably need to put some more gas storage down, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just trying to show this off. So yeah, you can see I got an enormous amount of amp I can make now. And everything is functioning as intended. And then what's cool is I can decorate and, put mannequins, put guns, and put all types of stuff in here. You can make a little military war room down here that you could walk straight into. And then over here, you have the option of placing whatever you want. But it's cool because I can look out and kind of like see down into my own base. And yeah, this is it though. This is everything. And there's nothing down here, of course. I could probably place another entry point here if I wanted to. And I could probably actually make this as crazy as I want, but essentially there's only one way in, and This is just a relatively easy way to make a fortified base. And so this is my super amp lab. It's also super fortified. And I don't care about having the robots that increase productivity because I just go to Venus and sleep for 100 hours, so it all gets full anyway. So yeah, you just make security robots, and these mechs are like the highest tier you can get, and it's basically like having a bunch of Vascos essentially. So everything's just a little glitched out. And I put the power behind this area so that if they do come in, it's a little bit situational. But there's so much gauging. So yeah, if they come in, my NPCs are just waiting right here for them. This is pretty much the tits right here. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. That's how you build all this stuff. But just like the materials you need are basically the storage. Everything else you're gonna have to build slowly. But you can easily get the basic down if you just get the raw materials for mass storage. And then you can build this stuff out slowly. The main issue you're probably gonna have is if you look at the power needs for this. It's about 81 for all of this stuff, which isn't too hard to get. You have space back here that you can place things. I could have easily placed more solar domes, so you don't need these reactors. To be honest, they're just really They're really good for space. You could technically just spam a bunch of wind turbines. So don't feel like you need to have XYZ. You don't even need to have You don't even need to have greenhouses like this. The big one, though, is probably going to be the water extractor, because you do need 1 water per greenhouse, and the tier 1 water extractor only does 0.83. So you need quite a bit of water extractors per greenhouse. So if you wanted 4 water, you're going to need at least 5 water extractors, and you could make that work, but you'll have to spread them out. So you don't even need to have these high tier buildings that I have. You can also do this with the 1 tier boxes. I would recommend you get Outpost Engineering too, though, to get these large boxes because of the issues I told you about with linking more than 60 links in one chain. That's not more than 60 links in a whole build. It's like, so these are 15. This is a link of 16. There's 16 links in this chain, for instance. 16 links in the other, and there's probably about 30. Yeah, 15, 30. There's probably about 40. I think I have probably about almost. No, you know what? I actually might almost have. Yeah, the whole 45 up there, so that's pretty cool. Probably about 40. So yeah, we're not anywhere near the 60, but you can use carpets. You could make this really pretty. There's lots of other decorations. You can make this look like a war room. You could even have another, habitat right here with an airlock. That could be like your war room, wherever your creativity takes you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.